All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Oh, my gosh, I've never been so glad to get to the end of a week in my whole life.
And tonight, and tonight we are so lucky to have guest Marla Kelly with us of Twinstrology, and I just wanted to share something when I called Marla today, but first I wanted to say what Debbie called me first thing in the morning this morning.
Oh my gosh, okay, we have to share this story.
Yes. Well, actually, I woke up at 3:33 in the morning. It's one of the times I tend to wake up a lot. And I've received some information about some things going on in my life, but I also had received that for the show today that we needed to speak about the retrograde and the spring equinox alignment that is coming. And I saw clearly in my third eye Marla's face, and I was like, oh, my God, okay. So what I knew in the morning I was going to tell Deb. Well, when I woke up.
Can I tell my side?
Yes.
Can I tell my part?
Yes, so I just want to tell you. So when I actually woke up, Deb, it hadn't been, I had not had my eyes open 2 minutes, and my phone rings. So go on.
It was me.
Yeah.
And it was me. And I was on my way to a client meeting, and of course, as I'm driving down the road, I'm zoning out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, what are we going to talk about on the show tonight? And I thought, well, gosh, everybody's going through these crazy energies, so why don't we talk about Venus retrograde? So I said, I need to call Keleena right now, and of course, I'm driving, so I'm not going to text her and tell her I'm calling. I just call her. And I get her on the phone, and I said, Keleena, I got an idea for our show. And I said, how about doing Venus retrograde? And she says, oh, my gosh, that's exactly what I woke up with in the middle of the night. And then she tells me, and I'd already had it in my head, she tells me, I think we ought to have Marla on. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's exactly what I was going to call to tell you. That was the freakiest thing. We should be used to that by now.
We should be. It's so funny how we're always on the same page, the same wavelength. And Marla and I, too, because today then afterwards, I called Marla while you were doing your stuff for your work and, to see if she would be able to be on the show to grace us with her presence. And while I was talking to her, I started getting a connection from Source about the spring alignment, and they said they use the terms astral plane connected event.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we started talking. So what did you tell me, Marla? We started talking about this and we just started getting all this information.
Yeah, we did. The astral plane is the fourth dimension. And the information that I'm getting that aligns with what Keleena is getting is that the dimensions are starting to come together and collapse. And they're meeting in the fourth dimension or the astral plane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here we are. Here we go.
Well, and I've been getting this message actually for a while that the fifth is trying to come down to the third dimension. But, very clearly since the beginning of the year, that is the case. The dimensions are collapsing and coming together. And that's why everyone's going crazy.
Everybody's going crazy.
I totally believe it. That's what it feels like. It does. Wow.
Yeah, and then yesterday I had that complete download that I wrote up from, they signed it as we are the light and the unity of one. And they talked about the retrograde. And Marla will elaborate on this more, but I just wanted to say what it said in my post because, not everybody has seen it, but it said that the Venus retrograde is currently in place assisting humanity in shifting the old within themselves so that they may make room for the new in all relationships. So it's not just the sacred partnerships and, the harmonious ones and the twin flames, but it's everything. It's friends, it's coworkers, it's all kinds of relationships, but it's also I spoke about how many of them are going to fall away for good because they just don't serve us anymore, and others will hang in there through the test in this linear time space to clearly see and know if certain individuals are meant to be part of your life. So, and I think a lot of us are actually going through that right now. I know I am. And then it also says for some of you it will be a struggle as you are facing deep-rooted fears you may not have allowed to surface or you've denied them. And many are facing harsh truths of themselves and that the soul brings forth as you're making decisions based upon your third-dimensional earth life reality. So so basically they just said embrace this from Venus, what she does with the retrograde, because without it we would remain stagnant in our current reality of making choices from the head, not the heart. We wouldn't be going forward. Even to go backwards, when we go backwards, it helps us to go forward, and if that makes sense.
Oh, it does.
So,
I'd like to add something to that, is that basically the last Venus retrograde we had was a nightmare for me. I mean, was.
Me too.
I'll never forget. We had just had a Mercury retro. I was like, that was a piece of cake. I was loving it. I was like, this feels great. Venus retrograde hit right after that, and I went, what the heck is going on? And it was like, I remember every possible thing that just came up, and I really didn't know how I was going to make it through it. And when it was done, I was like, oh, my God, thank God that's gone. What's really interesting is someone told me I thought it was last year, but you know how the years are blending in together now for me.
2015, wasn't it, Marla?
Well, that's what someone said.
It was summer 2015. It was like July. I remember it because I wrote about it, but because the same person that's in my life that's doing this stuff to me now did it to me then, what he's doing now. So,
well, and it was a continuation, but what's really interesting is because I went through it so hard then, this Venus retro, even though it's pushing and pushing and pushing me, I'm just like, manifest, manifest, manifest. I've had a few issues come up that are reappearing, but I must have gotten through it really bad last time, maybe so I can get here. I am a voice of reason for a lot of people. I've been talking to a bunch of people tonight. You know, they're all like going through it, and I'm going, oh, my gosh, I was there. I remember. Tough.
It's necessary, though, isn't it, Marla? We've got to do this to clear.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
Venus goes retrograde about every year and a half, and we're getting close to a Mercury retrograde as well. And we're going to have Mercury going retrograde.
Didn't we just have one?
Retrograde. Yes, we did in January.
Retro.
Well, you know what? And it's cleansing and it's aligning is what I'm just hearing right now. Because every time it does this, there's an alignment that's getting closer and closer, and things are getting pushed and pushed. What they're showing me in my third eye is they're actually showing like a line, like almost like a timeline with dots, and the dots are coming closer and closer together for whatever this is that is coming together into the center. I'm not sure what this is that I'm seeing, but I'm just going to hold off on it until they bring more information, because sometimes I get the vision before I get the words.
Right.
So,
all the retrogrades this year are aligning up with our manifestation potential as bringing in this 1 year. And when we go backwards with the planets, we're going inside and we're looking at what's blocking us and what we've been hiding from ourselves and what our truth is and how we can shift from, how we can align what we want inside with what's going on outside.
Absolutely.
So next month, we have 4 planets shifting. We have Venus going direct, but we have 3 planets going retrograde.
Uh-oh.
So, Mercury, Pluto, and Saturn all going retrograde next month. And Mercury and Saturn will go retrograde before Venus goes direct.
And you said, did you say Pluto?
Yep.
Okay, so no Neptune's in there. He's not going to be dripping on my carpet today.
Not until June.
What people don't know is sometimes when I'm talking to Marla on the phone and we'll be talking about stuff, and we're just like running past each other some of the information we get, and I actually get the actual beings in front of me. When Neptune comes, he's holding what's that thing again, Marla?
Triton. And that's Debbie's thing. That's a Triton.
I don't ever know. All I know is he's holding that pointy thing, and he's dripping on my carpet. And I'm like, Marla, Neptune's here. And then I'll tell her what he says to me, and she's like, okay. And she has either gotten the same information or she's bringing through stuff that's almost exactly the same, or he's confirming things that she had already been sent. So what is
often they confirm things for me, like with Chiron.
Yeah.
Chiron came through you a few weeks ago when we were talking about Venus retrograde and how Chiron is playing such a big role in this retrograde. Actually, Chiron is playing just a huge role in the energy right now.
Yeah.
And Chiron's the past, right? Is Chiron the past?
Well, he's seen by a lot of the most known definition of him is our soul wound, the wound that we carry from incarnation to incarnation. But he's so much more than that. He represents mystical knowledge, and how I'm studying him is he affects our multidimensionality, and he helps us
Ascertain?
Access.
Oh, access. Okay.
I thought you were saying you ass? I was like, what?
I can't say that word.
Okay, sorry, go on. Ladies, no
so
party
he's playing a big role because he's pivotal right now in the dimensions collapsing.
Right.
So he's very pivotal. Okay. All right, so that's making sense then. But can I tell you what, when he came to me, how, like, that they show me themselves in a specific way. And I had never seen him before. All I know is this really hunky man showed up in my apartment. And I was like, oh.
Really?
Who are you? And I was like, I'm single. But of course, their energy, and they just come and they form some, he was just trying to get my attention. But I have to just say that because they come in so many different ways. Katumi always has his golden robe on and stuff, but okay, no, he wants to talk, but I'm telling him he has to wait. No, you have to wait.
I'm sorry, I'm giggling about that.
Well, at least I won't do what Deborah does in her videos.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why her videos were banned from YouTube.
I know. Wait, let me just, in my defense, say I was doing
Chiron and I saw it.
Oh, you saw it. I was just doing a marketing video, and it got banned from Facebook, and I have no idea why, and I'm very upset about it. So I'm just scrapping that marketing idea.
Well, next time, make sure you wear your clothes.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, welcome to our Friday night. We just decided to invite the world to our Friday night conversations with Katumi.
My intentions are always in love, wisdom, and joy. And may joy be the biggest one.
Yeah.
Deborah?
And laughter and fun.
I see you.
Yes, I see you.
I see you. And I see what Keleena is wearing. And more, thank God it's a radio show. Anybody that knows me knows I hate clothes.
Okay, we can do without that. Okay. Let's go there.
I'm not naked. Just
okay, good.
No, I don't like clothes. No.
Oh my gosh.
I like freedom. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So, Marla, what do the planets that are going in retrograde next, what do each of them represent? Not to change the subject. We don't need to talk about my wardrobe.
Well, we have Mercury, who we know is our thoughts and our communication, how we think about things. We have Saturn, which is our fears. Saturn's also our life path, our purpose, our mission, and time. And Pluto, which represents letting go and going deep to what secrets we keep hidden.
Oh, Pluto, you are welcome to come in. I know some people that have some secrets that need to let go. You ladies know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yes. I think this alignment is perfect timing, though, because we're getting into spring equinox. And that's when, we were talking about this earlier. That's when the days change. So you're going from the dark days to the light days because we have the longer days and stuff, right, Marla? And we also have the rising of the consciousness that is happening. And from what I'm being shown, is the awareness and the rising of the consciousness is going to be happening starting at equinox. Because I know, oh God, I'm getting vibrations. When I wrote that thing about the equinox the other day, they were saying that it's going to be another awakening period, a jumble or a shake within the core of the human being to wake and shift into the truth and the reality of what Earth is, who you are, and why you are here. So in order for people to go through this stuff, they have got to release these triggers and stuff that are happening, whether you're twins or sacred partners, anyone. You've got to start releasing this stuff to be able to start moving forward in your ascension, and not just emotional things, but things that you're attached to, like material things that have no meaning to you, they showed me. You know, they no longer have meaning, but you have all of this junk, and once you let go of it, you're letting go of energy, too.
I was just talking about that in the video I released today.
Oh, did you? Oh,
we
my
always
God.
have, like, this
What? We are on, like, the same page, Marla.
And I didn't even know where that came from. I was just talking about something else, and then I started talking about how we get entrapped by material things as well.
Yes.
Wow.
And we have to have this image to present to the world.
Right.
And it ends up trapping us from being
things.
Who we really are.
Absolutely. So material things, that's the thing about, there's going to be those people that are going to decide whether or not they want to move forward in ascension, or there's going to be those that are going to be stay rooted in the third dimensional reality of the materialistic world.
That's Venus as well, because Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is what you own, what you have.
Yeah.
Your material things as well as your skills and abilities that you have. Venus rules money as well.
All right. Okay. I live on Venus when I'm not here, so it's so funny because I'm very simple. You guys know, you've been to my place. I don't have a lot of stuff. I just have my the basics. That's all I need.
But I really like that.
That's all we all need. It's all we need.
Yeah.
We don't need
I'm looking forward to getting to that point soon. Just, doing a big purge, which many people might be feeling now that Venus is retrograde, getting rid of stuff.
Right.
Yes, because absolutely.
You don't want to buy things when Venus is retrograde because you'll end up not liking it. So
I don't
want to
buy things. I don't want to buy things anyways. I have found for a long time. I am just like, give me the simple life. Give me a room painted maybe not white, but something just sort of gentle, and throw a few things in the room, like very, very, very calm and everything. And then I want no clutter. I want no stuff. And that's my hardest part is I'm trying to carve up some sacred space,
Right. But that I clearly got that yesterday and today. And yesterday I was working with a client too. But also like people that are hoarders, they need to start removing those things, because when you hoard, all you do is hold on to the energy of things, and it's the density that you're keeping in your field, and that density is an attachment to also you. So it makes you heavy. It gives you that like heavy feeling, and you have that heavy feeling in your home. And until you clear it out, and do the feng shui, you're going to continue to have that, not with only in the home, but within your own auric field. It's just a heavy feeling. You have to release things, whether they're things from the soul or they're actual material things. We don't need stuff. We cannot take it with us when we go, and we cannot take money with us when we go. Yes, we need money to live here, but there's no reason that we have to have tons of money and be someone whom we truly aren't, because we are just spirit. That's who we are. We came here for a mission.
Well, and I find that when the money flows through me and doesn't stick to me, but it flows through me, I always have more than enough. I always have what I need. And a lot of times the abundance starts to flow in ways that you don't anticipate, the way, things will show up, opportunities show up that make you feel very abundant, where you don't end up with the responsibility of what it would mean to own that stuff, you know? Like you get a chance to ride on a boat without having to own one and maintain it and, you know, store it and all that stuff. So, yeah, allowing the stuff to flow through. Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have stuff, like Steps and I were talking about, you know, the bigger house. I used to live in a place with my ex-husband. We had a nice house and stuff, but there was 4 bathrooms and cleaning 4 bathrooms. Ugh. I'm sorry, but I didn't want that big house. I actually wanted a smaller one, but, you know, that's the difference between him and I. He's still stuck in that world. That's all I'll say.
Right.
And I am just totally opposite. I've been awake for a long time since I was really little, and I just we don't need all that stuff. When you're going to have a house with 4 bedrooms, maybe you should have like, or 4 bathrooms, you should have like 10 people living in there, not just 3 or 4. You know, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
it's interesting. What's interesting is that I was just, you know, chatting with someone who is going through something that I went through. 3 years ago, I lost my house. And I'll just come right out and say it. I lost my house to foreclosure. And I fought that. I fought the banks, and I took on the banks, and that was a whole other, before this life, before this path. You know, that was my last, you know, thing that I tackled was taking on the banks and taking on the courts and things of that nature. And I started talking to people today. There were several people who were going through evaluating whether they were going to keep their house or not because they're splitting because of their sacred partnership situations. Almost everyone I know that is divine feminine is in the process of splitting in some form or fashion from their karmic partner, okay? And all these questions are coming up about, you know, well, I want to provide a house for my children, and I want them to be able to have the continue, you know, what do you want to say, the continuity of the same schools and all this stuff. And it's so interesting. Even someone that I just talked to tonight was saying that she had just gotten back from court and, you know, from this divorce, and she's trying to hang on to her house that, you know, it sounded just like my house, and it brought back all this. And all I keep thinking is this, oh, my gosh, guys, we're all in this together. We're all going through this having to release our attachments to this old karmic, I want to say this karmic way of being in partnership, which is about the material world and our investment in it. So it's like, you know, unattaching from and trying to find the simpler ways to live. So, and I just for the record, I'm going through that myself, selling, you know, a property and looking to purchase a property and how that affects my karmic partnership and everything like that. Really, that's what we're doing right now. We're moving into the new relationships, the new way of being in partnership, but we're still, like you said, all those dimensions are coming in together, and it's kind of wild.
And we're seeing that veil pretty thin, aren't we, Marla?
Yes, very thin.
Yeah, I've been saying that to Deb for, how long has Katumi been saying that with us, Deb? Remember the shower curtain he did?
Yeah. I said he was invisible. And he goes, I'm not invisible.
He stands behind the
shower invisible
curtain.
To me.
Yeah, and when he did, for an example, he showed the shower curtain as black, so you couldn't see through it. And then he showed it as like a dark gray and getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And so now you can actually see through it. And he said eventually, you know, coming up, it's going to be like a net. You know, you're going to see right through the holes. And that was just, was that like 2 months ago, Deb, he did that with us? We were laughing so hard.
I don't know. I've lost track of time. Time. What is time?
I know. We never know time.
No.
But yeah,
but
he
said that to me 2 months ago.
Oh yeah, he did.
Well, there you
go. He always does that. Oh my God.
He was doing peekaboo.
Yes. Oh my God!
That's a definite way of demonstrating what the true reality is that we're dealing with here, which is that, you know, the other side is just sitting right there. We just don't see it because we're so fixated on this reality. But yeah, it's starting to thin for me, definitely. I mean, I'm just, that whole thing about this morning was Marla and, you know, having Marla on the show and everything. I mean, we talk all this stuff. Keleena and I talk a lot. And it's kind of like, I was floored. But it's like there's this synchronicity, the unity consciousness is just demonstrating itself. And that is the that is the key of when you're going through this path. We talk about the sacred love path. We talk about all the things that are involved in it, which is coming into your wholeness and coming into your truth, standing in your truth, and knowing who you are authentically. The more you align yourself with that, the more you begin to discover that special other that is you, actually, that everybody is you also. And the more you become your authentic self, the more you're aligning with those people, and those people are drawn to you, and you start to see this unity consciousness. And you talk about collective, like Abraham. Abraham comes through Esther Hicks as a collective conscious. Well, I'm starting to understand that because Keleena and I are coming up with the same idea out of nowhere, and then Marla happens to be available, and we're like, yay, this is how it's supposed to be. This is the higher dimensional way.
Well, that's the Pisces energy.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything's in alignment. Yeah, everything in alignment, everything collective and in alignment.
Yeah.
I'm having somebody's trying to talk.
Okay.
Oh, it's the Ascended Master Lou. Okay, I'm actually literally being turned around to face him.
Okay. Just, you've got to tell where he came from, and then all of a sudden how that hooked up with Marla. I mean, like.
Oh, we must have discussed this before we started recording, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ascended Master Lou stepped in. His energy is in. I don't think very many people probably know who he is. Do you think, Marla?
I
didn't.
Probably
not. I don't know much about him myself, so.
Yeah, he's an Ascended Master, but he came in and he represents persistence, and actually he's being very persistent. He keeps turning me around to like face him because he wants to talk. He literally, and just so everybody knows, I'm very touchy. I don't know what to say. I'm a huge empath. I can feel their energy, and they turn me around or whatever, just to try and get my attention. But he's a Celtic sun god from harvest time, which, why is he here now? It's snowing. But he is totally being very persistent. Oh, he just turned me again. He wants to speak. I'm going to let him speak really quick. It has to do with something with the alignment. So let me let him come through. Namaste. Dear sisters, thank you for your service. When one is in a place where they must acknowledge things that they may not want to, and with the alignment of the energies from the planets, but also from the guides that stand by your side and the masters that work with you, the angels, you will feel that persistent push, that nudge for what it is you need to do in your life. When you receive a message or a knowing that you have to do something, and it continues to come to you over and over, this is the persistence. This is the push. We are trying to keep you all in alignment in so many different forms for you to see what it is you need to do. If you worry about things, allow the angels to take that away. Give your thoughts and worries to the universe. Listen to the messages you are receiving. If you just know when you wake up in the morning that you have to do something, something that is out of the ordinary. Don't put it aside, because we will continue to be persistent and push you until you do it. It is not only us, but your higher self reminding you, this is something you need to do. This is something you planned before you came. And this is something that is going to keep you on the right track so that you may progress forward in your ascension. This message is for all paths. The progress of your ascension is clearly up to you, if you choose to go with your knowing or listen to those who guide you. We will continue to be persistent, and the alignments will continue through the spring equinox into summer and into fall again. And we will push and push only to remind you so that you may get up on your own feet and do that which you came to do. Thank you. I step back. I am listening.
Namaste. Thank you for that. I've got to tell you, that is absolutely, I know. That's absolutely that really settled into me really strongly. And I'll just say that I have something driving me in my soul that keeps me on track with my I want to say my divine calling, my higher calling. I mean, I'm an extremely busy person with my business, and yet I find myself on, Facebook Messenger chatting with so many people, and I really have to start limiting because I just sit and talk to people. I am so driven by my soul to communicate some of the truths that I've learned and to bring hope and to bring encouragement and to I act as a guiding light to just say, you can do this. I know you can do this because I went through this and I've been there. And your soul speaks to you so loudly and so passionately about what you came here to do. The more you step back out of the ego and more you clear some of the things that makes it cloudy as to who you truly are, my gosh, does that really become the truth? You are so strongly guided by your inner knowing and your guides around you. Thank you for bringing that message through. It's wonderful.
Yeah, no problem. And I forgot to say how we said earlier before we started that he arrived, and then right when he arrived, Marla laughed and said she had been doing a reading today where he came up, and didn't you say he rarely comes up, Marla, or something like that, or what did you say?
He doesn't come up very often, no, but he came up today for someone that I was reading for.
And he's here tonight. Yeah, and he's here tonight for us. So this must be something that's going to continue, obviously, with what he just said. So, yeah.
Well, and I was saying how I had written about persistence the other day, just something short, but because I feel a lot of people right now are wanting to give up. And I think that's because of the energy, and we should talk about something we talked about earlier, which is okay. So how these dimensions are colliding.
Yeah.
How I saw it in my mind's eye yesterday is like a vortex, and Abraham Hicks talks about the vortex, and he saw it like a tornado, and the different things that we want are floating around in there. And when I'm talking about the dimensions, too, I'm talking about your other timelines. So other lives that you're living concurrently as well. We would think of past and future if we were speaking of linear time. So all these things are kind of jumbled up right now. And it looks with your 3D mind like you're going backwards, like things aren't aligning for you. I can tell you, people that I'm seeing, that I'm working with, or that I'm talking to, they're having a lot of things going on. They're moving. You mentioned, Debbie, that a lot of people are splitting up from their karmic partners right now in this Venus retrograde. And yet other twins, their partner left their karmic, but then got with someone else that's not their twin. Or their twin flame is just married someone else. Or their twin flame is having a baby with their karmic partner. So there's all kinds of situations going on that's making people in their 3D mind go crazy and think things aren't right. This must be wrong. Like, why is this happening? I'm supposed to be coming into union. Where is all this stuff coming from? So the message that I'm getting is it's just how things are lining up, and we have to go through it. We have to let go of any expectations and be grateful for what we have in our life right now and not worry about how things look. Like, say, whatever, it doesn't matter what 3D is right now, union is still coming for me. Or what I want is still coming. It doesn't matter how things look right now, and let that go. That's why we've been pressing people so much to let go of expectations. It's not because we don't think twins are coming together or we want them to forget their twin. It's so that they can align this stuff easier. And Keleena, when we were talking before, remember you mentioned the arrows, and then you just said Diana was here with her arrows?
Oh, my gosh. Yes. But that was that was earlier in the day, wasn't it, that I talked about the arrows? Yeah. And then Diana the goddess Diana is here tonight, and she was shooting arrows into the sky. Oh, my God.
You weren't mentioning Diana, but Diana does have arrows.
And I can't remember what were we talking about that I said the arrows were coming down, showing into the body. I can't remember what
we were talking about the dimensions converging, and if people are resisting, then say they shoot 10 arrows at you, and if you're resisting, one arrow might hit you for manifestation. But if you're in receptive mode and you're in alignment, you might get 8 arrows.
Right. That's what they were showing. I received the weirdest. I received it in such a weird way in the video in my mind. I was explaining to Marla that people need to open to receptivities because so many people are closed to it. You need to open to receptivity to receive the stuff that you're trying to manifest. And what they showed me is the people that are not open to receptivity, there's a man or woman sitting here, and they're getting all this stuff sent to them from the universe, and they're just bouncing right off, and maybe one is absorbing. And then there's the other person over here that's open to receptivity, and they're shooting all these arrows, and they're just going right in. And that's how they showed it to me, so I can explain it to her. And we were just like, we get the information differently, but it's the same message. And I told her, maybe I get it that way because it's a little more simple, so I can understand it.
Keleena.
Well, it's so funny because Katumi always wants me to explain things in simplicity, he says. So that's why sometimes I feel like some of the things, although when I get some of those videos, I'm like, that's really not too simple. I don't understand it.
I'm a big fan of simplicity myself. I try and make things simple for people.
Yes, because everybody does
and for myself
as
well.
So so that we understand it, so that we can convey the message. But I have Vishnu standing here across from me in Namaste, and I'm going to let, Vishnu has a message, and I just need to let it come through really quick because it goes along with what we're saying before we start taking phone calls, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yes. Go ahead and allow. Katumi. Oh, he just said something funny when I'm trying to focus. Leave me alone. Step back, Katumi. Oh, my God, he just put a handful of jelly beans in front of my face.
Oh, those are for me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jelly bean girl. Oh, my God. Great, I got all these people laughing. Okay. Vishnu. Yes. Go on. My message is only that my beloveds, when you learn to trust within yourself, you can then trust outside of yourself. And when you have that, is when you open to the receptivity of the flow. There are so many of you out there that do not trust your own judgments. Do not trust the messages that you receive. And as my brother Lou said, persistence is here. We are coming and we are pushing you. But you must trust what we are trying to tell you, because you asked us to. When you made your blueprint and you came down, we promised to assist you in this process. We promised to be here for you, my beloved brothers and sisters. And we are. You must trust that we are here. But the main key is trusting within yourself. For when you do not trust within yourself, you look outside of yourself for the answer. You look outside of yourself for someone else to tell you what to do, when it's all within you. We're reminding you, you are awakening. We are whispering in your ear telepathically. We are telling you what you need to know, as well as your higher self. Please, trust that which is yourself. And therefore, you progress further along on your journey. And you open yourself to the wonders of the world, to the wonders of the universe, to all the things that you will know in your own self-knowledge. That is to be true. Trust what you are starting to feel. Trust what you are starting to open up to and know in this awakening. Trust that your political systems are dying. And it's not for bad, it is for good. Trust that your banks and your corporations are dismantling. And it's not for bad, it is for good. Because all of you asked collectively in the consciousness for these changes to happen, so that you don't have to live day by day, working, as you call it, your fingers to the bones, to give your money back to someone else that doesn't deserve it. You've all asked for this over many years. We've heard you. You've sent your prayers out. You've sent your words out. You've sent your thoughts out. You wanted the change, and now it's happening. And many of you are fighting it. Don't fight it. Allow it to happen. Trust in what you asked for. Trust in what you thought you wanted. You wanted change. Trust within yourself. You are part of this process to change this world. You are part of the collective consciousness. Every thought that you send out goes to the collective consciousness. So make sure what you send out is in positivity, love, and light. We hear you. We are assisting you. Trust yourself and trust that we will always be here, beyond the thinnest veil this world has ever known. I am Vishnu. I step back.
Namaste. Thank you, Vishnu.
Oh. It's a great message.
I was going to say, it always goes so much deeper than, we're all on this path. Wow. We're on this path that is so important to each and every one of us. And, each and every day, I sometimes feel like just this warrior that just keeps getting up and keeping going. But, you know, that just puts it all, you know, that puts it all into such perspective. Guys, the whole world's changing around us. The systems that we've been part of, the governmental systems, the educational systems, the financial systems, the corporate systems, they're all shifting, they're all changing, and it's all because of relationship. Our relationship with our highest being and stepping into that. And what we've got here is a catalytic situation from sacred partnership, which catalyzes us into a very, very rapid spiritual ascension process whereby we are able to get to that place where then we can help the rest come along. We can show the way. Here, we're here on the other side of the shore. Come this way.
Yeah.
Thank you for that message.
Yes, the whole time that he, usually it comes to me as male, so I hope that's right.
You cannot be male. You have the goddesses too. Now
yes.
That's just be honest.
He is.
He's male. Okay, because I was going to say he has really long hair, but his features are very androgynous. But to me, he seems more male. Like masculine body build.
Well, he sounded masculine. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole time. Now I understand why Tim Wilde said my voice is 5D and up, because I can use those through those male ranges, but I cannot do the girl ranges. Oh my God, it's so weird when I could talk like a man and I'm so feminine. But anyways,
sorry, that's
why I don't have a boyfriend.
He can't handle the masculine voices coming through. Oh, wow. You know.
I won't say anything else. So anyways, no, they're not here if I, never mind. But anyways, tell me be quiet.
Oh, no.
The whole time Vishnu was talking, he was showing that alignment with the planets. So like the spring alignment and then whatever's going to come in the summer too. Marla, I don't know if you've looked ahead yet, but the whole time he was speaking, he was showing the alignment and everything getting closer and closer and closer and closer as he was saying everything. So so that goes along with everything that's happening with the retrograde and then the alignment and everything too. I'm going to only assume well, actually, no, I trust in myself that that's what it is. I cannot say assume or I'll get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my gosh. So that's what I was seeing. Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, and we really need to trust right now. It's such an important message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't worry about what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Just know you planned it and it's for your greatest and highest good.
Right.
Go with
Absolutely.
it. Right. Go with it, man. Go with
it. Just let everything flow. We need to let things happen the way they are because everything's synchronous.
Yeah.
I mean, we also know this is happening.
Oh no.
The 5D union that people are feeling is much stronger than ever.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say the energy of the male person that I'm having issues with has been here yesterday and today all day, and I'm just like, okay, step away. It's just that's a lot. It's a lot to handle. So interesting.
And it's going to get stronger as Venus continues her retrograde.
How long does this Venus retrograde last, Marla?
Yeah.
April 15th.
Give me a date. April 5th. You are freaking kidding me. I'm looking at my
It's the 10th of March.
It's the 10th of March. You've got to be kidding me. Well, thank goodness. Well, hopefully I'm not going to have like I did a year and a half. It's been good for me. I'm not going to lie. It's been good so far.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, so where are we at on the hour, Deb? Are we at a point
I was
going to
say, I think it's time to start taking calls. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording because what I've decided is that we definitely want to continue to keep the recorded calls on Facebook, at least for now. I'll tell you, it does take a lot to put like the beginning and ending on the top, but I've had several people say, oh, my God, 2.5, 3 hours. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Give me one bite-sized piece at a time. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to stop recording. We're going to come back on, and we're going to introduce the Q&A so we make a brand new section. We'll find a good break point to do that as well. So I just got to tell you before we do this, I'm looking at the board here for the call duration, like for all the callers that are on. I am seeing double digits constantly. 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4. I mean, it is really weird. So anyways, being an observing person. Yeah?
Wow, awesome. I've been seeing those numbers too. Well, actually for me, 1111 a lot.
Yeah.
And the 5 a lot.
Well, change.
Yes.
222.
And the 3s. You know me.
Yes,
I
222.
Oh, someone called me before from the number 5552222.
No. Ooh, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 555222s. Yeah, change in foundation. Oh, my goodness. All right. I'm going to stop recording now, all right? And then I'm just going to lead back in with the next part of our call. So hang on just one second.
Stop.
Okay.
So now we are. Everybody.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop recording again, and I'm going to start again. Now, Keleena, hush up.
What?
I'm just kidding. No, I'm going to stop recording and start recording again so we have a nice clean beginning for that video that we're doing. Okay? So hang on. Well, here we are again. We're in part 2 of this session with Marla Kelly and Keleena Malnar, and of course I'm Debbie DuBois. And we are talking about Venus retrograde, but we're getting ready to go into Q&A. So what we're going to do is put this call into Q&A, and anyone who would like to be put in the queue to ask a question or bring up a topic for discussion, we just ask you to press *6. So I'm going to go into the Q&A mode first. Okay, so our Q&A session has started. I really hope people have some questions or some things that they want to talk about. You are free to *6 and bring some information. And, if you have something specific that you want to talk to, Marla about, or Keleena or I, don't be afraid to say, hey, Marla, I have a question for you, or Keleena, I have a question for you. Or if you just want us all three to answer, we'll kind of put together a culmination of our, answers. I've noticed that instinctively we all know who is supposed to talk when, which is really the magic of what we're talking about with the collective energy. So the first call we're going to take is area code 917. You are on the air. Hello?
Hello? She muted herself. Hello?
Yes. Hi. Who are we speaking with? It's area code 917, right?
Yes.
And who are we speaking with?
Hi, guys. It's Michelle.
Michelle.
Hi,
I thought that was you.
Hi. Hello. It's me. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful. Good. I'm so glad you called in.
Thank you. The first thing I want to say is I just really want to say thank you to all three of you for giving so much of yourselves and your time and your energy for this. It's just really great.
Oh, thanks. I can't help it. I can't help it. Sometimes
it's what
I
we
think
do.
I'm insane.
It's our nature.
It's just
we get that push and push, don't we?
Yeah.
I wanted to say,
what is your question?
Since Marla's on the air, I wanted to say that I'm a teacher, and we took our students to the planetarium today. And it was very interesting, and I actually thought of Marla because when Venus came up, it was something that I totally had no clue about. But Venus came up, and the movie that we were watching said that Venus is surrounded in these clouds, and the satellites that we have in space can't see into Venus. And so it's kind of like shrouded in mystery. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Mhm.
So I thought of Marla when they said that.
I'm not so good at astronomy.
What's weird about that, though? I was going to say what's really interesting about that, though, is the more that I talk to Keleena about Venus and all of the things that, Venus being a higher dimensional planet and beings from Venus actually physically being here on the planet, it's shrouded in mystery. Maybe it's just a big cloaking device so we can't see what's going on.
I was going to say she represents the feminine energy, which is thought to be shrouded in secrecy. You know, because the feminine is internalized.
I just thought it was an interesting fact that I would bring up.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say that I see her. But you know what? I'm going to tell everybody because I know that Venus is my home. But like when you were here in the summertime, and we were doing that work, and I explained to Deb how when I go out and connect with the stars and stuff, Venus is the one planet that I will sit and face every night, and my heartbeat will go in sync with her and just start pulsing with Venus. And when I close my eyes, I can clearly see everything to Venus and on Venus. But I almost feel like what they said at the planetarium, I don't feel that there's truth in it. Something I think man-made was put through there so you can't see it. And I'm sorry, but I had to say that because...
Oh, that's fine. That's why I wanted to ask, actually.
Yeah. In my knowing, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, because I thought it was kind of weird because they say that the satellites can see into all of the other planets, but they can't see into Venus because there's these clouds that won't allow it.
Yeah, makes you wonder what's on there, right?
I don't see it. Yeah.
But anyway, I will ask my question if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
please go ahead.
The question is, I'll spin off from this. I kind of saw Debbie interacting with somebody in one of the groups a couple of nights ago. A couple of nights ago, and they were talking about how a twin flame could actually be perceived as being abusive. So, and then Debbie was saying, and you know, this has come up a lot for me because sometimes some of the things, you know, I won't say it seems abusive, but it does seem like rude and disrespectful. So I was just wondering, you know, what you guys think about that. Like, this whole thing about not answering communication, and you might have like a great communication with your twin, right? And then you're going on for about 2 weeks and you hear nothing. And you might have sent something and they just totally don't answer it.
I would like to. I would definitely like to talk about this since you did bring that up, because it was one of the things that I focused on this week as I was looking at the room. First of all, I want to say this. If someone is physically abusing you, get out. I don't care if they're a twin. I don't care who they are. I mean, if you're holding a vibration that has to do with violence of any form in your twin partnership, it doesn't matter. Get separated. But what I was relating this to is abuse has to be determined. And I don't know, can I just ask, does someone have a radio going on in the background? Because I'm hearing a sound.
I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
No one? All right.
I can hear it, though.
I was going to say, I think what I'm going to do, let me just see if I've got any, we've got 4 of us on. I'm just going to see before I start, if I have any other people who are unmuted at this time. It does not look like it. I just know that it will be distracting some people. But what I was going to say is that, you know, what feels abusive to you, everybody is going to be completely different. I mean, abusive is if the person's if you're not feeling comfortable in that connection, if they talk to you in a certain way that you don't like, or if they don't respond to you the way you wish they would, or you give all of yourself and they give nothing, that feels very abusive. Sometimes you have people with very strong personalities, and it feels like they stomp over you, and it feels abusive. What we have to understand is if it is the twin connection, or if it is sacred partnership, or these catalytic relationships, these are there as mirrors to show us something about ourselves. And one of the things we talk about a lot is the fact that we are asked to step into our power right now. So if you have, it's so funny. I just saw 1001, Keleena. I'm always seeing 1001.
I know. I'm looking at it too. I didn't say anything.
I've seen that too. Yeah.
Yes, I was wondering if you saw.
I see it. But anyway, so it's really, it's saying to me that this is really important. The more you understand that the experience you're going through with this other, with this counterpart, they are reflecting you back to you. They are your mirror. And now you might say, wait a minute, I'm not like that. Well,
right, exactly. Like I would never not answer him if he sent an email or a text. I would not do that for more than 24 to 48 hours.
I know, but let me just say this. What we think about what someone should do is our expectations. And if we didn't do what we expected, what would we do? We would judge against ourselves. So this mirror that we have that we're looking in, this person is basically feeding back to us inside of us what we ourselves are trying to learn about ourselves. So what we have to do, instead of saying this person is doing something I would do, it's almost like, what is it about that characteristic that I judge against? Like, for example, you're in a situation and you're dealing with a narcissistic partner, and I've been hearing a lot of this narcissistic stuff, and a lot of twins, it's interesting, seem to feel that their partners or people in their lives are narcissistic. And I don't know if that tends to be a characteristic because twins are very sensitive and psychic and things of that nature, but so you're dealing with a situation where someone seems very narcissistic. Now, you can either say, wait a minute, I'm not narcissistic, that's not me at all. You might have to say, number one, where do I carry narcissistic patterns? Is it there? Do I have those patterns? Number two is, why am I judging so hard against someone who's this way? So it's all about judgment and what we think is right and what we think is wrong, and it's our reflection of our judgments upon the world that's being reflected at us. And when we can sit there and look at, what am I judging in this person? Then we can start to say, what is it that I can drop in myself? And I'm telling you that when you figure those things out and you drop them, the abuse stops reflecting back to you. Whether it's answering an email, you know what? What says that it's right that someone has to answer an email? What? Who says that? It's our own perception of what we should or shouldn't do. It's our should and shouldn't do's, right? So are we held in a pattern where we feel like we should always respond to people right away? Do we feel like we should make these changes and now we're expecting it in another person because we're not making that change? All about that.
That was a good point about saying that is that something that, like the opposite, like that I always feel like I have to answer people because that's kind of, that's really good. You're good, Debbie.
So thank you. Well, they're reflecting back. They're reflecting this, hey, I don't need to answer you back. Well, maybe they're trying to show you something. Maybe you don't need to answer everybody back. In other words, they're the part of you that you're dissociating from.
It just
and you're
seems
like,
to be
wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
It just seems to be one of the themes that continually comes up for me in this twin flame situation. I'm fine with the fact that it's not going to be at this time. I'm fine with all of it except this communication thing that happens where everything's like great, and then it's radio silence.
Hey,
so
that
keeps coming up.
Okay. Can I tell you something? This is something that I really believe strongly in. When the other, and I'm starting to call it the other, when the other steps back, maybe it's because you need to not have that interaction for whatever reason. In other words, they're not doing their job. If they sit there and continue to talk to you, they're not going to trigger you to where you need to go. So, in other words, maybe just shift your perspective and your perception of what that experience means. Think of it as a homework assignment for you. Oh, he's pulled back. Oh, that means that I'm supposed to focus more on me and get used to not having that. In other words, you put the space there then. You put that space there. And then you're like, you start to realize that you can control that space and you can control, what needs you have. And once you let go of that, he'll show back up. He's just doing you a favor.
That's the thing that you talked about last week with the rubber bands pulling back. Like one question that I have is like, just how far do we let that rubber band pull?
No, it's feel uncomfortable.
It's not going to break.
See, that's the thing. That rubber band thing, that's going to be your discomfort. So if you pull back too far, you know, you have to stand in your integrity. We don't play games, but what we do is we put the space there that we need. You know, then it's us standing in our power and our own truth. We put the space there that we need. Now, if you start pulling too far away, that's running. And then what you do, you don't get them necessarily to chase you, but what you do is you start to feel, oh, that's really uncomfortable because they're reflecting back to you. You're running. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
All right. What would you like to say to Michelle? Because I've taken up the whole blah, blah, blah.
Well, you said it beautifully, Debbie.
Yeah. And the whole thing with the rubber band is the rubber band can never break if you're true twins. But actually,
you're right.
Katumi wants to say something about the physical abuse with twins. So I'm going to let you've been waiting the whole time.
Okay. So patient.
So hang on one second here. Good evening, ladies. Hello.
Good evening.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Jelly bean?
Yes.
No jelly bean for you. You need walnuts and fish oil, Deborah.
Oh, I'm already eating my walnuts. I've got my walnuts in my fish oil.
God, here we go.
Yeah.
Marla, you can have a jelly bean, but you don't need sugar. So you just look at them. They're pretty. And our guest, Michelle, I see that bottle of wine you're drinking. Enjoy.
Really? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the blast.
I know. All right. Now, what I want everyone to understand is when you come in on the path of a twin flame, twin soul, that is a path that is chosen of a highest unconditional love. There is no way a true twin would physically abuse the other. You see, why would one want to physically abuse themselves? They are their own soul. I'm sorry, but whoever has brought that through is saying that their twin is abusing them. That is not a twin. You come in with a deep understanding of unconditional love within the soul. Though sometimes it may feel real buried as you go through this process, that abundant love for oneself is always there. You will not physically abuse the other. So, you must look at that individual as a catalytic person in your life. And I may be the one to bring this forward to all of you, but it is truth. One that is a true twin does not physically abuse another one's body.
Thank you.
So that is all I wish to say.
Katumi, I have a question for you.
Oh, of course you do. Challenge. Let's go.
No. I just have to ask. Now, in this particular case, is it not possible that some of the interactions you have with your twin may feel abusive if you're extremely sensitive to button pressing?
To have the feeling of abuse is one thing,
right?
But to have actual physical abuse is another. The feeling of abuse, yes, from that standpoint in the emotional bodies, and it goes into the physical, it's the mental, it goes into all the bodies. You feel it that way. But when one lays a hand upon another, that is not a true twin relationship.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Well, that answers that.
I will step back.
Yes, thank you. And the reason why I brought up the abuse was because it was brought up in the groups. I just think my twin is rude. I'm not saying that he's abusive.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Michelle, because I wrote about that this week, and it's kind of triggering for people when someone makes a post in one of the groups and they bring up abuse, because like Debbie mentioned, how everyone feels about abuse is different. some people might think it's actually hitting. But like you said, some people think if their twin doesn't respond to a text, that's abuse. To me, that's not abuse. They're trying to trigger your ego.
Right.
So, and people get into these heated discussions when often it's not even clarified what the behavior is, and it could just be someone is, like Debbie mentioned, feeling very uncomfortable about something.
Mm-hmm.
But
and, you know,
whatever the name, the connection.
One thing that I wanted to, One thing that I wanted to
you have to send a boundary.
Right. One thing that I wanted to say was that one thing that I did learn from my twin and actually being able to ask him, why do you do this, is that I think that some of the twin flames, whatever their situation is, a marriage, a situation, a vocation, whatever it is, they're deeply conflicted. So sometimes when you're in that confusion, that might be the way that you deal with it. So aside from being to trigger you, it could just be something within themselves too, that they're not coming into their complete truth. So
of course
they flip flop and they answer and they don't answer, and I just think,
I get mad too, but then I think I can't answer everyone's message. I don't always answer everyone, so
right.
That's
I
what
was going to say
about
can
myself.
I add something? I'd like to add something here. You know, we tell ourselves a lot of stories. Okay? This is something that I learned. This is part of the whole path for me. We tell ourselves stories based on what happens to us. So if someone does not respond the way we want them to, sending an email or sending a text, we tend to tell ourselves stories about why. We come up with these ideas in our head of they're pulling back, they got this going on, it's the karmic partner, it's all of this. We've got all these ideas in our head. The truth is they may not be pulling back at all. What we're really doing is creating our own reality. Now, if you are in constant contact with your twin, Michelle, if you're talking to your twin and he's telling you this is where I'm at and everything else, then you're not dealing as much with stories. But when we're talking about twins that aren't as much in contact, they go long times without talking to each other, there's a lot of assumptions based on stories we tell ourselves. We have to understand that. Most of the stories we tell ourselves are just projections. They're our own stories that we use to explain what we see in front of us. But I've had certain experiences, not even within a twin experience, but, where I've had it pointed out to me that what I believed in the situation was totally not true. And I was like, oh, once you find out that this belief system you've had, that they're doing this or they're doing that or whatever, it really is about us dropping all these stories, the stories that we tell ourselves that explain away, because all those they're responses to our fear and our beliefs about ourselves. And once you start to drop those stories and say, you know what, I don't know what's true at all. I'm just going to assume nothing's true. I don't know what this or anything else means. You're in a better position to just let it unfold and let it be what it is. Does that make any sense?
Right. It absolutely does.
Yes,
but
many times, it's like, Debs, when you and I have talked, it comes down to fear of what somebody believes they're not going to receive.
True.
Something that they're looking for, they're wanting, and they're fearing they're not going to get it. So it goes back to fear. It goes back to single words. Kantumi taught me very well. Single words, fear, control, all these single words. And when I work with clients, we get back to those one single words, and then we go to the core of those words. So it's like deep-rooted issues. But, you can have the surface, and you just keep going deeper and deeper until you find that, the bottom of that root.
Core.
You can pull it out. So
a lot of times your twin is trying to get you to set a boundary so that you can step into your power. But so often the other person is afraid to set the boundary because they think, oh, my God, my twin's going to run away. He won't talk to me anymore, or she won't talk to me anymore if I say something or if I try to take my power.
Right.
Well, that is kind of true in a way, because if I tell my twin, I really can't deal with this, we can't talk anymore, he's going to respect that boundary. He will never call me again.
No,
until
that's not true.
But see,
I don't know.
Michelle, that is totally a form of running. Because what it's saying is basically I can't show up in my own vibration and keep my vibration where I need it to be. So I got to remove myself from the situation so that I feel better. But let me ask you a question. Do you feel better when you do that?
No, I've done it, and the longest that I lasted was 6 months, and, of course, I was the one to break it, because if you tell him that you can't deal with this and we can't be in contact, he's going to respect that. I don't know how long he would have respected it beyond 6 months because I cracked, but I felt terrible every single day, so I'm no longer doing that. And I do understand that if I was running. I do understand that.
Good for you, because, a lot of times we confuse that. We think one person's running, and it's really the other person, That's why this whole running and chasing thing, it's really not about that. It's an energetic push and pull.
Right. Absolutely.
And as the awakened one, as the conscious one, you really do want to stay in your consciousness as to when you're doing that and come back to the table. What did you want to say, Keleena?
No, I just wanted to remember to keep your vibrations up. If you're the one that's awake, keep your vibrations up, because you are helping to assist awake the other one and help raise their vibrations as well.
And everybody else, too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget, this path is not for twins. This path is for humanity.
It is. It's for the awakening of humanity and for the collective consciousness, for clearing densities for the earth and as well as within ourselves.
And that's what I think a lot of people don't really, I like to remind people, and I've reminded myself that as well. It's like when you want to get into the little pity parties and you want to say, oh, my God, I'm having such a hard time. You know what?
Look at the big picture.
Pull your big girl and boy panties up and realize you came here to change humanity. And get out there in nature and, ground yourself, or, what I've been doing lately to get in a really good energy thing, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I love K-pop. I love it. That's Korean pop music. It is very up. It is very high energy. It's lots of fun dance moves. You know what? I put it on at the end of the day after a really hard, long day of work, and I've got a bunch of still work I want to do and twin flame work. It's like, okay, whatever I have to do to raise my vibration, it's just going to make your life so much easier in every respect. So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, you're
welcome.
Thank
you for calling in, Michelle. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay. Thank you, Kasumi. I want to thank Kasumi for the shout. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Before you go to the next caller, Deb, I got a Diana that wants to speak.
Okay, sure.
I'm going to let her go ahead and speak. Just give me a sec. She's standing right in front of me. She's the prettiest hair I've ever seen. I want my hair that color.
I think I disconnect. Oh, no, I didn't disconnect Michelle. Oh, good. Sorry for shocking. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, my sisters of light and love. My goddess warrior sisters. I thank you for your service at this time upon earth, Gaia. I want to bring through the message of focus intentions. Whereas in the path of sacred relationships, partners, harmonious relationships, twin flames, twin souls, and twin rays, we must remember to keep our intentions focused on the positivity and the light and the love. We must remember that our thoughts, as was said earlier, all go to the collective consciousness. But it is very important that we focus our intentions on what we truly want and not what we don't want. There are many of you struggling out there with the changes that are happening on Earth right now, with the changes and the collapses in your political systems and corporations and banks, as we were talking earlier. And many of you are starting to speak up against it instead of what you truly want. When you place your thoughts in the collective consciousness, Please bring your thoughts forth in love and light. Do you want peace? Do you want prosperity? Do you want calm? Do you want serenity? Do you want tranquility? Do you want abundance? And put those thoughts out there. Focus your intentions on the positivity of it, not on the negativity. And that is where the manifestation comes in. And it's the same rule to do with your twins on this path. Focus on the positivity, the outcome of it. Don't focus on what you think is negativity. Because as Keleena tells many people, when you feel like you're having a harsh day with your twin, and I have been with her in many sessions, you look at that twin, and a lot of you blame the other for something. When truly it is nothing that is something that they have done. And you get angry. When truly all of that stuff is coming from yourself. We must be grateful for that which our twin shows us in this process. That is how we clear. That is how we find the issues that must be resolved. That is how we move forward in anything in life on earth. We are at a point right now on earth where humanity is being pushed to step into their own powers, to see that which they came for, to awaken and to know who you are and why you're here. The four of us that came in together today as masters, as well as my brother Katini, all came to have you understand the same message in different ways. We're all here in persistence, in trust, in truth, in focused intention. And as the Divine Mother Mary is standing here, when you do all those things, the miracles happen. I want you all to see. You have the power within you. You are the warriors of spirit, light, and love. Whether you are male or female, be grateful for each and every single person in your life. No matter if you feel they brought you some kind of harm. They truly didn't. They came to show you things. They came to make things clear. And they came to help you remove yourself from ego, to live from the heart. When we let go of those things in our life that truly do not matter, when we surrender to the things that are not needed, when we collapse the things that are not necessary, we realize we are standing in the nakedness of our own truth. And in that space, we stand in love. And that is where you can move forward. When you accept who you are, you acknowledge your being, you've cleared yourself, you release ego, and you go forward into your wholeness, into the light, into the love. And you remain there in your heart space. As that is where you are meant to be. My dear sisters, my goddess sisters of love and light, I thank you tonight for allowing me to speak. I am the goddess Diana.
Namaste, Diana. Thank you for being here with us. Appreciate it. Okay. We are going to take another call. I'm going to go ahead and area code 517. You are on the air.
Hi, everybody. This is Vesta Moon.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Oh, my gosh. It's so
I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah, I was going to make it last week, but some interference came through. So I'm really glad to be here, and I want to tell all three of you ladies, thank you so much for being present.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Can't help it.
No, I
can't help it.
I don't want to say I admire you to, I mean, I admire you and I appreciate all of your guidance and help and assistance.
Thank you. Thank you. That means the world. That means the world. Thank you. That means a lot to me.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm really glad to be here. And hi to everybody else out there. I guess, am I limited to, questions, or should I just pick one topic I want to bring up? Because my mind's kind of flooded everywhere, and I really have a lot of things I want to bring up. So,
well let's talk. We've got an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, before we get started, what I think I'd like to do is we're going to take another break, and we're going to record. Because it sounds like we might be on with you for just a little while. So hang on just a minute.
And
no worries. We're going to stop recording, and we're going to go into part 3 in a moment. So one moment. Okay, so we're back for part 3, and we have a guest on the phone who's about ready to ask. So I don't know if it's questions or if we're going to be having some good conversation, but what would you like to talk about?
Okay. Well, I guess, I want to try to limit my things to being as personal, as possible. So I kind of have a question about co-creation.
Okay.
What does that mean? Does that mean, manifestation while you're together? Does it mean, I guess I have a big question surrounding that.
Okay, so let's write. I'm going to write that down. That's one thing we'll talk about. Okay.
Yeah, and then transmuting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
got that.
How does that work with your twin? I mean, does that work on divine feminine level usually? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And
you can take the co-creation. I'll take the transmuting.
Okay, I was going to say that. That's perfect. And then we'll just figure out Marla's going to have a say in this somewhere.
Yeah, then Marla, you can jump in.
We just snatched those two subjects out. Marla, you're going to have to take the next subject.
So I have finding mission versus career. So, is your mission your career?
Oh, my gosh.
Three.
Okay.
So.
Okay, well, that's my specialty, right? Okay, well, Marla, we're just going to have to figure out. Marla's going to have a say. So, but let's start this with the co-creation. All right. Let me just see. Let me just tune into what I get, okay?
Okay.
First, we are experiencing, in general, a co-creation, right? Everybody is part of the one, right? So everything is a co-creation. But at the same time, there's another level that's going on that is your creation. And your creation literally creates the participation of the co-creators. So how you show up is how the other person shows up and helps you co-create the situation. So the key is to start to understand how you are really creating everything. And we create everything that we're experiencing based on our beliefs about what's in front of you. So what you see in front of you is literally what you will experience. That person will show up for you to prove to you that you're right. So the key is number one, to start to get rid of all the blocks and the programs that run from your familial lines that tell you that this is true, that this is true, that this is true, all right? Once you start getting rid of all the programs, then you get clear, which is what a lot of the Divine Feminine has been doing. Once you start to get super clear, then you start to take a look at what's coming in front of you and you interpret it differently. When you interpret it differently, then you call forth something different. Everything that you see is an interpretation of what you see. It's a projection. So co-creation, yes, it happens, but it stems from your perceptions. So the key is to start to peel away your own onion layers. And as you do that, you come to the situation to sit in the moment of now. And when you sit in the moment of now, you will allow things to unfold. And you will not judge what sits in front of you in any particular way. So you will not say, oh, this is what this means, and this is what this means. You'll allow the truth of that situation to unfold and reveal itself to you. The truth comes to you. When you start to live in that moment of what the truth is unfolding for you every moment, then you have a brand new level of co-creation with other people. This does not just happen with your other, or your twin, or your sacred partner.
Right.
This happens with everybody. And since I've gotten to what I would consider, and I do consider it, the other side of the stream. I've waded through the stream, I've gotten to the other side. All that means there's continuous expansion for me. So it's not by any stretch of the imagination the end. But once you get to a certain level and you've gotten out of your own way, all of a sudden you start to see that all of these relationships that you have, you're creating. And then that other, boy, do they show up completely different for you. And so does everybody else. And the people that have shown up for you, think about this. This comes from A Course in Miracles that I studied way back in the early 90s. What happens is you literally, your projections just come in a completely different way. The people in your life, they shift. And suddenly, they're no longer holding the contract that they have with you. In other words, these people that have been in your life showing up in a certain way, family, karmic partners, children, they push all your buttons, they do all these things. When you start to stand in your truth and your power and you get to your wholeness, they shift. Because guess what? They're no longer enslaved to your projections. You make them innocent. And that's A Course in Miracles. They come to you innocent because not only that, but when you deal with people who everybody else in the world says, oh, my God, that person is such an ass, whatever, they come to you, you see them in their highest self. They do not show anything else but that to you. They might be doing something else over here, but to you, they show up in their divine self. Guess what that means? You've made them innocent. You've helped rebirth them because suddenly they don't have to show up in this way that the whole rest of the world sees them. So they're sparked. I've had someone come to me literally. I had a boss that was, get in here and earn your goddamn paycheck. And I was like, oh, my God, what can I think of in a redeeming quality about this man every night? Right. 3 years after that working relationship, he came to me we were in a bar. He comes up to me, hugs me, Debbie, I just wanted to let you know you are the best assistant I ever had. I'm now a born-again Christian. I'm in love with humanity. You are the best person I've ever met. Well, guess what? The only thing I did was help him see his own innocence. That's it.
Right.
And that is how you change the whole reality, by showing up one person at a time.
Wow. Wow. So
all
I've
right,
been co-creating for a while.
Co-creation. We're all co-creating for a while, and when you see how you're co-creating and you realize how powerful you are, gosh, embrace it. Guess what you get to do with it? You get to do something different. Forget what you've done in the past. Start right now and do something different.
Yeah.
Marla.
I mean, I guess.
Marla's, well, does anything with the alignments, and with everything that's going on right now add to that?
Well, we're in a 1 year. Okay, right. So this whole year is about manifestation. I said earlier that all the retrogrades we're going through are helping us manifest. And yes, right now there's a lot going on with the manifestation because we're working with the Aries point, which is the first degree of the zodiac. That's the spring equinox, is when the sun comes over the Aries point. And we have Venus going over the Aries point 3 times during her retrograde. And so this is a metaphor for manifestation because you're going from the spiritual world of Pisces and you're manifesting it in Aries, which you can see Aries has the baby. It's birth, when your spirit enters a physical body and is born and literally is manifested. So it's a very important time of co-creation, and our thoughts are what's helping us align with the best things that we want for ourselves.
And that's what Diana just said, too.
Yeah.
That's positive.
Yeah.
So it's so important to let go of the expectations of how things look and just be happy for everything that's going on. If you can't be happy for some situation, you can find some other things in your life to be happy about.
And focus on. Right. Right.
Can I jump in and just ask one question that I don't know if I need to ask?
Yeah.
What if your thoughts have been so negative for so long that it finally clicked? Can you ever change that? Like, can you take all that back, or is it ever too late, or do you have to wait for that?
Oh, I think I'm living proof of that.
That's something I've struggled with for a long time, this horrible negative thoughts.
You're innocent.
And they always come true. They always come true. Like, and now I feel like I'm finally manifesting positive, pure thoughts, and it's all coming into alignment, and it's all coming, beautifully and divinely ordered. But I worry that, some of my old thoughts
nonsense
are still blocking.
Did you clear it? I mean, if you cleared it.
I mean, I don't know how else I can clear it. Like, to clear it besides just, praying. I rely upon prayer, like prayers.
Keleena,
I go to Jesus.
Explain.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Keleena.
Well, okay. So let's first talk about bringing in, because you want to get, those are lower energies when you go into that. Okay?
Yeah.
When you go into the negative thoughts and stuff, you're going into lower energy and lower vibrations. So if you want to clear that, one of the easiest ways to clear that from your bodies, all your bodies, and from yourself, it's going to go through everything, is to bring in the violet flame of Saint Germain. Have you ever done this before?
I have attempted and done my best, and it has worked, but I'm a work in progress.
It's so simple. All you have to do is visualize in your third eye when you say that I am the violet flame, because it's a very powerful mantra to just say that over and over and visualize that violet flame within you, working through you. And as you're saying it, I am the violet flame. It works in you, and it just moves through your entire body and all of your organs, and you continue to do it until you see it in your third eye going through all of your other bodies, and it goes out into your aura and everything else, and it expands, and it surrounds your body. And as you see it, see, I'm actually doing, just because I said it, I'm seeing it right now going around me. I'm actually feeling the energy of it. That's all I have to say, because I've done it. It's so strong, because the more you do it, the easier it is. I am the violet flame. That's all you have to do. Call in Saint Germain, and the first time you want to start doing this again, ask him to please place the violet flame within your heart, and then start saying, I am the violet flame. It's going to go through and start clearing all of those lower, dense energies that you hold within yourself, okay, that you have... I'm sorry, Saint Germain is actually standing right behind me right now. See, all I have to do is talk, and then they show up. And I'm getting really, really hot. Hang on. Ooh, right up my neck. Okay, so he wants to speak. I did not expect him to come in tonight. So let me, wow, I'm getting overloaded here with healing energy. So everybody that's listening, if you want to accept this healing tonight, please say, I accept this healing from Saint Germain through Keleena. You can either say it in your mind or out loud. I'm totally loaded with heat here, and I need to do this. I'm going to bring this violet flame out for everybody tonight. I need everybody just to say, I am the violet flame, because he's actually going to place it right into your heart center if you already do not carry it.
I am the violet flame.
I am the violet flame.
I am the violet flame. I am the violet flame.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Okay. As you receive the violet flame within your heart center, it is an alchemical process of removing the dark energies, not just from this life, but from all lives that you brought within the soul. Dark energies that you had picked up during the day. Dark energies that have gotten attached to you. Oh, God. Continue to say, I am the violet flame within your mind. And feel it rising through you. I am the violet flame. In action in me now. I am the violet flame. To light alone I bow. I am the violet flame. In mighty cosmic power, I am the light of God, shining every hour. I am the violet flame, blazing like a sun. I am God's sacred power, freeing everyone. As this violet flame transmutes, it enables you to win your freedom from every form of human bondage. Within your soul and within all your bodies. I place it upon all of you now. It is within you from now until you leave the earth. It is here for everyone to use. I thank you for inviting me here tonight, Kelly. In the grace of God, I am Saint Germain.
Thank you, Saint Germain.
Thank you, Saint Germain.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm so hot.
Well, it's interesting. You decided to take on transmuting, and boy, you just brought in the big guns.
Here we go. The number one.
It's funny because that's what ended up happening. Is the question that you had was answered by Saint Germain on transmuting. There you go.
There we go.
Never know what's going to happen.
The other thing you can do with the violet flame that I want to let everybody know is that you can use it every day. But you can also, before you go somewhere, if you're an empath and you pick up these lower densities, these lower energies, these vibrations, if it's easy for you, you absorb them. Before you go somewhere, send the violet flame to that place and envision it in that building or wherever it is you're going. If you're going to someone's home, or I always say do it when you're going out for Christmas gatherings, because there's people you just don't want to see. But
family,
send it here. I didn't want to say that, but
I would say it for you.
Okay. Send the violet flame there first. See it surrounding that place within and without, and it's going to clear all the people that were in there, and it's going to clear the land and that home. Okay. Or that building, or that space, or wherever you're going, where, as I said, if you are an empath and you pick up these lower energies in your sacral chakra, a lot of us do, our solar plexus, it will cleanse it before you get there, okay? So you not only have to do it yourself, but you can actually do it in your home, in your apartment, anywhere. If you get in your car, something feels funky, bring it in. I am the violet flame. Surround my car with the violet flame. It's the same thing as calling in kind of like Archangel Michael when we travel. Archangel Michael, please surround my car with protection. Well, we can bring in the violet flame the same kind of a way. Bring in the violet flame and ask to transmute and transcend those energies. Now, You asked something about transmuting with the twin. So what did you mean exactly by that when you asked the question?
Well, my twin has got a lot of, I have karma, but he's got quite a bit more than me, I believe.
Okay.
And I've been told by a couple readers that he's got some brown gunk, if you will. That's, I don't know if that makes sense. Probably not using the right terminology, but
no.
That's leaving him, but it's like it still stays stagnant. Like I can see it in him. It's an ucky energy that comes in and comes out of him, if that makes any sense.
Well, yes, because when I clear chakras when I'm working with people and we start cleansing them and clearing energy blocks, sometimes when I see people's energy blocks, when I remove their energy blocks, I start seeing what I call sludge coming out. That's what I see. It looks, and visually I see it, and it looks really gross, but it's from years of picking up that kind of stuff. And it's not just from this lifetime. So, yes, I totally understand what you're saying, but what he needs is a cleansing. He needs an energy block cleansing. He needs, to get his chakras tuned and in aligned and go into those energy blocks to clear things. But karma, when you want to release karma, it's not... hold on one second. I have got somebody on the... Oh, Michael's here. And all I have to do is mention their name and bam.
I love Archangel Michael. That's my brother.
Oh my God.
Hi, Archangel Michael. He's my go-to. He always comes through for me. Oh, I'm warming up. My whole body is warming up. Please tell me what I need here.
He's very heat. He's very heat. He's very hot. Okay. Archangel Michael is the first drawing I ever did. When I started. First sketch. I'm going to let him, obviously he's here. He's got both his hands on my shoulders. I'm going to let him talk. Good evening, beloved sisters and brothers. I see your conversation and I hear you. I did not come to talk about karma. As my connection with Keleena was loud and clear, I stepped in. What I wanted to say is as I stood next to my brother Saint Germain, and he brought through the decree, the mantra, for the power and energy from the violet flame. I also wanted to bring through information on protection. Many of you are told to protect yourself all the time. This may be off subject a little bit, but I want this to be understood. It is okay to protect your bodies from the energies and stuff. Bringing in the violet flame is perfect. Transmuting and transcending. There are those of us that are here to help assist and protect you when you call upon us. However, there are people out there that are pushing that you need protection all the time. Protect, protect, and protect. Protect yourself all the time. If we start making this a belief system, that we need all this protection, that you as the physical human being need this protection all the time. And you have all this protection around you. What do you attract? You're going to attract the opposite. It is not necessary to have that much protection. Because when you attract the opposite, guess what's coming? You're going to start feeling the fears and the lower density energies. You may think, what is he talking about? But it's true. If you need more and more protection from me, you're going to get brighter and brighter. And who's going to see that brightness? The opposite. So be careful with what you hear from others. It is one thing to call us in and ask for protection for certain things. And we will always be there for you. Always. When you ask. But it is not necessary to overprotect, to only invite in that which you wish not to see. You are all always protected in your own light. And I love each and every one of you. I am here with you. I will always be with you to serve when you need me. I stand by your side. And I send you all my blue light. Now. Every single one of you that is listening, and every single one of you that will listen. Okay, it's going through me. Oh, cute. For all of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Archangel Michael. We always love Archangel Michael. Thank you. Okay. Okay.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, yeah. Utoya maanio koyata. Ide yesho yenaka. Oh. Tuya ambuka yanta. Hindu yanama yanta. Ya oyana koyata. Tuya no moyana oyana. Seseta koreana nina.
I just wanted to say something, if I can. That which he spoke of, with how we try to protect ourselves all the time, that is exactly what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what I was talking about. The more you believe you need protection, the more you create it. This is what A Course in Miracles was all about. It's creating our reality. So the more you feel that you need to be protected, the more you create what you would be protecting against. They would say, in the Course in Miracles, they would say, you create what you would defend against. You would do to yourself what you would defend against. If you're afraid of this happening to you, you're creating that. So now that's interesting, because I do ask for, some help in a clearing sense from Archangel Michael. Mostly because I guess I've been kind of conditioned to think that way, but he came right out, interestingly enough, and said, hey, you don't necessarily always need it every single minute. So what a great message. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as all these guys are working through me, and I'm sending all of this through you, I'm also receiving everything, but I'm energetically, I'm shifting here while you guys are listening. Ow.
Yeah, she's always.
Oh my God.
She's always shifting, people. She's like this metamorphosis taking place constantly. She'll say, I'm really high right now. Not high, but high up. And they're bringing through some new stuff. And I'm like, okay, just hang in there. Hang in there. I'm here for you. Oh, poor kiddo.
All right.
That's okay.
Thank you for your questions. I was going to say, do you have anything else? We were talking about co-creation and transmuting. Was there anything else along those lines that you wanted to talk about? If not, we'll just.
Well, I definitely, I did have another question, but I don't want to take up anyone else's time. I want other people to be able to ask questions. But I did have a question like mission. How do you find your mission?
Oh, yes. Oh, but I have to answer that one because that's my favorite question.
Because I thought I found it, but I hit a bunch of roadblocks. So
absolutely. Well, let's talk about that. We will quickly talk about divine calling, divine expression, creative expression. One of the first things that started to happen to me once I started to come into my wholeness is it became really apparent to me that creative expression, it was shown to me that in the higher dimensions, work and what you're paid to do, you don't get paid to do, is your creative expression. So as I started to get out of my own way, I started to realize all the energy I was using to do all this processing and changing and shifting and everything else could then be used for what I love to do, what I am passionate about doing. So when we talk about mission is often thought of as a spiritual calling. But I want to say this. Your spiritual calling is whatever makes you the most happy, what you came here to do, whether that's to paint, whether that is to, like me, with web design. I love it. And now what's really interesting is I'm finding out that my forte and my strength is literally dealing with customers, clients, consulting and being their confidant. And the creative expression is whatever it is that all your skills, talents, and abilities and how they channel themselves out into the world right now. It is not necessarily going and teaching people about twin flames. It's not necessarily going and, teaching people this or that. Your creative expression is what you love to do. So, Keleena will say this as well, and a lot of people will say this, go back to what you loved to do when you were a kid.
A child.
All of the things, yes, and you pull those things together. I mean, I am a trained actor. I have worked in video production. I love people. I have been in human resources. I have worked, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on and on and on about all the things that I've done in my years on the planet. But what's interesting is that the things that I love to do, once you get out of your own way, they all pull themselves together into this ball of creation. And you know what? If you don't know exactly what that is right now, don't stress about it. It's fine.
Right.
It
comes into alignment.
You will come into alignment with it. All you want to do is continue to focus on the things that stand in your way. What feelings, what beliefs do you have about yourself that stop you from believing in yourself and knowing who you are? Those are the things that stop you. I remember saying, I can't be an actor. I can't be a singer. You want to know what? I just made a post on my group, Raising Vibrational Frequencies. I was singing to one of those karaoke things, and it videotapes you, and it makes your voice sound really pretty. And you know what? So I didn't, when I was young, I wanted to be a singer. Guess what? I'm still using that creative expression as part of who I am. We do it all.
So your mission is not specifically meant to, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, to, help the collective. Yeah. Your mission is really just to work.
Whatever you do, you're going to be helping the collective. Everything you do will help the collective.
Yeah, what you do in
by raising your vibration.
Yep,
correct.
And everyone around you. Yep, that is your mission. Your mission is to be you, your authentic you. That's your mission.
Right, and I want to say is that what I always tell the clients is when you go back and you really truly look at the things that you did when you loved what you love to do, the things that you did that took you away from everything, like nothing else around you existed anymore, whether it was dancing or singing or painting or writing or drawing or being in nature, whatever it was, where nothing else existed except for you and that one thing you were doing, that's part of your spiritual being. Because that's where you found that love of that one thing that really connects you to who you are. Okay? When you find that, when you go back and find that again, and some people can go right away and go, oh my God, I love to do this and that. And then they go back into it. Get back into it again. Start doing it again. Just do it. You'll start bringing out those memories, those feelings. Your vibrations will start rising in your soul. You start turning and you start really finding the spiritual being that you are within this physical body. You start reawakening that within you that's been hidden for a long time. And yes, every single thing you do is going to help the collective. Everything. Once you raise those vibrations, that's what we're here to do.
Oh, it makes so much sense. Thank you so much for answering my few questions. And
they were really good ones. Thank you so much for calling out. No, seriously, that stuff is the stuff of passion and I know in my heart, being your authentic you and coming in and you know, really getting in touch with who you are. And I would like to say it really is falling in love with yourself. And do you know that through this whole path, some of the hardest times I had when I felt that energy being pulled away, you know, the pulling away, some of the most important times was when I turned to the things that I love, like my guitar and my horses and, you know, just learning how to go out and stand in a tree and lean up against the tree and hold the tree. All of those things help me fill my own cup. And when you learn to fill your own cup and you learn to fall back in love with yourself, I mean, I'll be very honest, I had some very intimate experiences with myself because I started to fall in love with who I am, not in an ego way, but in this beautiful, organic, loving way to know my value. Once you do that and you get to that place, number one, the other, they show up. You know what? Whether they show up or not, it doesn't matter to you. It really doesn't because you're in love with humanity. I've had so many times where I realize how in love with humanity I am. And in the collective of all that is and all the people that are there. It's like, what is this one other person that we think of, the other piece of us? Well, guess what? You've got a big whole piece of us, you, out there in humanity. And when you learn to be part of that, you know who you are.
I'm actually coming into that right now. I'm starting to come into that, and it's so empowering, and it's so like, but then I get that little touch of pity party, if you will. So,
and that's okay. It's part of the process.
But you recognize
it. It's a process.
Yeah.
As long as you acknowledge it, you recognize and acknowledge it, you know to move forward. You know what you have to do.
Oh,
get out there and raise your vibrations.
Yes. Have a wonderful night. I'm going to bow out before I ask more questions and get you guys talking.
Well, thank you for your questions.
And I was going to say, please, we're trying to do this as much as we can on Friday nights, as long as we're not just absolutely knocked over from the week. And please come back and ask your questions. I don't care how many times the same people come back. It's like these questions that you're asking are helping a lot of people. It doesn't matter who's on the call here now. We get a lot of people that listen to this later, and every single caller gives a question that the collective is trying to answer for us all.
Right.
So please come back and ask more questions, okay?
I will.
Yep.
I will.
Perfect.
Oh,
enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You enjoy your weekend too.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
I got to go have something.
Oh, no. Good luck.
All right. Well, we
Marla.
did have.
Marla, what did you love to do when you were little?
Art.
Painting.
Sometimes just going outside and playing in the mud was one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. Playing in the mud.
I
can see little Marla in the mud.
We had a pond in our backyard.
Little
so
Marla.
I used to, play in the water.
I was going to say, Marla, I heard you're a lot taller than I thought you were. I heard you're like this really tall goddess.
Yeah, I told her she's tall.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that about you. So you were very tall, Marla, playing out in the mud.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Anyway.
Obviously, astrology is my passion, but although I liked astrology off and on growing up, it was kind of frowned upon by my religious family. But,
yeah, well, look at me.
Yeah.
I had a religious family too. What was yours? What religion?
Lutheran.
Okay, so mine was Catholic. So not to knock the religions, but you're brought up by, in those old paradigms, those belief systems, those structures. And I saw stuff since I was very little. I used to see angels in my bedroom, but I also saw, like, things in the closet that I didn't want to see. And so I'd make sure the closet door was closed every night. But just to go out and try and tell people that you see these things, and when they've got that built-up paradigm that kind of stuff is evil, it's like, who do you talk to when you're a child? And that's kind of, that's a hard thing. As I grew up not telling anybody really anything because, people think they think you're crazy and all that stuff. But it's very much changing now. So many more people are awake, and the belief systems are changing.
Or they tell you that it's not true or it's bad. They talk you out of believing or trusting what you're seeing.
Right, so you shut down
yourself. That happens to children a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think, Marla, was I the one talking to you about creating a meditation for children?
Yeah.
I think that's you. Yeah. I'm creating I got the download last week to create a meditation for children with unicorns and fairies and angels and stuff. So I'm actually working on that right now. Throw it on YouTube. But the kids, so we have a lot of kids that they're being born awake. And as long as their parents aren't shutting them down, they're going to stay that way. I've kept mine awake by continually teaching them. But a lot of these kids are going through rougher energies and stuff with the shifting and things than we had to go through as kids, because there was more density here then. We're going through it as adults. But and a lot of kids have a higher vibration as well, but they're feeling things differently. Like Deb, you and I talk about, the star seeds and stuff. Yeah. How they don't like people to touch them. Like my daughter, she doesn't like people to touch her. She's like, don't touch me. She's very sensitive, and my kids are both really huge empaths, and I think most of them are now. So a lot of them are here to help this shift. So we've got to start turning this stuff on towards the children. So speaking of that, I have a question with the alignments and stuff like that. So we know what's going on for humanity and what the adults are doing. Do you ever get anything about the kids, what the changes, or you just focus in general?
I haven't gotten anything in particular, but I don't really focus on that. I just assume they're in it with us. A little bit easier for them. Like you say, their vibration's already higher. Yeah. Children are doing a lot of transmuting.
Oh, yes, they are. Yeah, as well as animals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The kitties are doing the kitty dance on you, that kind of stuff. That's what they do on you, Deb?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes.
The dogs.
Well, we have another caller.
All right.
It looks like it's Krista.
Oh, Krista. She got cut off last week.
Krista,
she's going to be the last one again.
Do you have a better connection with us this week?
Well, hi, Krista.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, this time I'm on the whatever the
computer?
The free conference.
Free conference call. Yeah. Good. We've got a great connection. We can hear you really well.
Yay. Okay. Don't blow out the computer.
Well, I just when you were talking about the kid thing, that kind of inspired a question I have. Is it?
All right.
Where are we time wise? Are you? I mean, is it?
We're fine.
It's
we're
11:11.
We're at 11:11 actually.
Oh my
It's
God.
11:11 right now.
We actually we're going to try to go. We'll go until 11:30. So
Okay.
we've got time. We'll go until we're done. I mean, that's the way I'm starting to look at it. Okay,
well,
go ahead.
That little bit of conversation actually inspired some thoughts. So my twin's karmic relationship that he's sort of dealing with it's not a romantic relationship, but it's a business relationship with a woman who he got pregnant and with whom he has a 6-year-old son who's autistic. And you know, the karmic relationship with the mother is you know, I mean, they're just whatever doing their thing, and he's got to get himself out of that. It's kind of mucky, but you know, the child, his son, who is he's 6 now, so he was 6. Yeah, so he was almost 2 when my twin and I met in 2012, so he'll be 7 in August of this year. And, you know, I've always kind of felt like my relationship with my twin, even before I knew that we were twins, had something to do with this child. I mean, but then at the moment, you know, like I said, I mean, it's very clear to me that whole situation of the business and the money and the business partnership that, you know, got started with the mother, and now they hate each other, and he's trying, you know, and she sucked all the money out, trying to extract himself, and I mean, it's all very bleh. And this little child, meanwhile, is, you know, he's not, you know, he's autistic, so he doesn't, you know, the relationship he has with my twin is not, you know, is not developing in the normal way, because he, you know, doesn't interact in a neurotypical way, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I feel, okay, I mean, I don't know, I sort of feel like autism has something to do with the transmutation that we're going through as human beings. And I think my twin and I both sort of identify with, like, the spectrum, you know, like, personally, like, we both, my twin now says things like he thinks he's, you know, on the spectrum, which is kind of absurd because he doesn't really, you know, he's completely gregarious. But
may I say something, Krista, really quick here, because I've got all these vibrations. I've got the Divine Mother standing right in front of me.
Awesome.
The children that have autism, I'm receiving the information right now.
Okay.
The children are highly evolved beings.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
They are here to do one specific thing. They have one specific purpose. Some of them come in very highly intelligent in just one certain field because nothing else around them matters. Okay. They're not here lacking in anything. They came in for their specific purpose, and they chose to come in that way as a child. And humanity here has labeled them with a word that tends to say that they carry some kind of disease or disorder. When they really don't. They are highly evolved beings here for a specific
purpose. They don't relate the same.
Right. They will not relate to things because they didn't come in to relate to things. Mother Mary is like right here in front of me. She is just totally downloading this into me. And what she's showing me is like a child with like this cloud around them. And in the very center of the cloud is like just information pouring straight into them. And it's like straight direct line, like their connection to source. They are source. These children are source on the earth is what she's showing me. It's just direct connection. And they're only here So whatever that child's specific purpose is, you probably know. What is the one thing that they either love to do or they tune into or that they're always doing? There usually is one thing.
Brian's son specifically is, well, he's got perfect pitch, so he loves music.
There you go.
I mean, especially classical music, and he loves animals, like all animals.
There you go. Yep.
Okay, so what she's actually telling me then is that he may lay his hands on animals, okay? And he can work with the animals. He can actually bring through a healing energy naturally, is what she's actually showing me right now. And the perfect pitch with his sound frequencies. It's a sound frequency thing.
Right.
Okay, so she's showing me angelic realm. But he's here to work with those simple things that he came in for, because nothing else matters. And that's the way it'll always be for him. Nothing else has to matter. And it's kind of like the way he's trying to show us and show you guys that all that noise out there, all the illusion out there in the world, doesn't matter.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
Right.
Show us the right way. Tune into why we're here.
Can I ask you a question? Do you feel like he is your energy? Because you got to understand, one of the things that we forget about sometimes is that the twin is you. So in essence, that's your child. I mean, not maybe biologically, but I mean, do you feel a certain connection or affinity with this child, this energy?
Yes, well, kind of. The thing is, I've barely been able to spend any time with him because the mother is crazy.
Well, things are shifting and changing, and she's shifting and changing. So, just think of that as the unfolding of what's happening, and try not to lock yourself into any preconceived ideas. The crazy is just your definition of what you're seeing and witnessing, but you're going through, it's all a shifting process. We're all in shift, including her. So,
I mean, I say crazy. I mean, she's just so. I mean, what she pulled my twin into founding a school, like a gym for autistic kids. So.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Just really,
And he now, literally sits at the front desk of this thing. With this woman who he was never with, doesn't want to be with, So there's a lot of muck, like mixed into what is also obviously, part of his journey, was to I have really no negative feeling toward her, other than that he's caused a lot of sort of discomfort for my twin. and it's been really difficult to watch, the unfolding of the last 5 years, with her. I mean, she predates me, he, like I said, they'd already met and had this child before I met my twin. So, I certainly don't feel like she took him away from me or anything, but she did. She has been a challenging influence in our relationship.
It's everything serves its purpose, and that's sometimes what we have to remind ourselves is that, the whole entire process is made up of exactly what's happening. It's unfolding exactly how it's supposed to. And each person involved has a part to play. Right. And sometimes we don't really understand or know what that purpose is for, and sometimes we do. Actually, the more you become clear, the higher perspectives you gain, that you start to see the beauty of all the interrelations. What's happening from a twin standpoint is literally a transmutation. We were talking earlier about transmuting. The transmutation of the karmic relationship that existed as an economical business partnership, right, which is what you're seeing in your situation, into something that's different. And each set of twins came in to tackle different aspects of that template. So the patience that it requires and the understanding and just, just taking the higher perspective and knowing it's all unfolding exactly how it's supposed to. In the business partnership and all that, that's just very symbolic. And it has to go through what it has to go through. Because you're shifting this not just for you. You're shifting it for all the people that are on that same vibrational wavelength across the planet.
Right.
It's important work. I wish everyone would understand as twins how important the work is. What you're doing is shifting a vibrational pattern that probably 100,000 people are attuned to, and I get that number, but it could be more. Sometimes it could be a lot more. Sometimes it's less. But, use your wisdom and your patience and, of course, bring forth your heart and know that,
Yeah. No, I mean, I do see it as this beautiful, everything you were just saying, like, I could say that. I get it, I really totally get it.
Yay!
And the hard part sometimes is just stepping aside from, like not meddling in my twin. Like I feel my twin, like you were saying, like, yes, that child feels like my child, too, like I feel, but then, my twin is going through his feelings of where, he struggles actually with it, his, I will just say, like, I'm probably the only person he tries even to say this to, but, I think he questions whether he has any love in his heart for this child because the child symbolizes such a, do you know what I mean? Like, because the karmic relationship is he's so bitter, and he's feels like this woman, like,
well, it's a reflection. His inability to connect with that child is a direct reflection of his inability to connect with the karmic partner. And so there probably is a lot of guilt feelings there as to how he feels, But the good news is if you can, see that for him, that the heart connection, this child did not come in necessarily for heart connection. This child came in for the experience this child came in for. Right. And so it's kind of like, I have a child, my younger child, this is a child that's into K-pop, right? This is where I learned about K-pop and why I got this, But, my child does not have the same need for me. The second child does not have the same need for me. As she loves me, and she doesn't have the same need as my first child. My 19-year-old, oh, my God, Mom. My second child, she just kind of steps back. She doesn't need me the way the other one does. This is that child. Right. Your twin's child just doesn't need him the same way. He's here for a different experience than that. But the energy with which that enabled that child to come in is the detached relationship, which is reflected in the detached child, seemingly, right? It's all seemingly. It's all illusion. Right. So, and
the whole situation is part of what is chipping away at his ego, all of his, what I mean? Like all of his preconceptions of even like putting the money into the business. I think he thought, oh, I'm going to step in with all my money and save the day and be, and I'm going to make money too. And I'm going to turn this, I'm going to make lemonade out of lemons. And, I think he, kind of, and if he thought he would just like blast, he also told me this, that he felt like, that in his younger days that he had maybe caused a few abortions in the world, and that this was his payback, you know what I mean? Like that he wanted to start this school, that he felt that by doing this school doing this business, this gym or whatever you want to call it, that he was healing karma, healing like bad karma for himself, and maybe things that he felt guilty about or something. And I mean, the business hasn't gone the way. I get that there's some truth in that, but it also hasn't unfolded the way his ego said it would. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think.
Well, and that's the thing. See, what I just want to say about all of this is that he's got to go through his path.
Right.
You can't go through that path for him.
Right.
So
the
best thing that you can do is acknowledge his path and realize that over and over again, if he continues to stay in the situation, he will continue to get the wake-up call. But you know what? You don't have to be part of that wake-up call. You can detach yourself from that whole situation, and you can spend your time doing other things, and continue to remind yourself, that's his stuff. Even though you're one and he's got his stuff, you came into two separate bodies for a reason. So as long as you acknowledge that and have faith, there are energies that are working that are beyond our understanding, that are kicking butt and taking names. And so have confidence that the universe is enriching everybody's lives in the way it needs to be done. And I guess I would say, if there's anything, it's like you can take your hands off the steering wheel if you have them on there. I don't know why I'm saying this. you can, because I'm not going to make it seriously. I just find myself saying, take your hands off the steering wheel and realize, let him go his path. Have complete faith. I feel very strongly that if you just understand that that everything is perfectly aligned, and you can relax about it, you'll be better. You'll feel better. And that's all that matters, really, how you feel, because you're creating this reality. Does that make any sense?
All right.
All right. Oh, my gosh,
Thank
we are at
you,
11:30.
Yes, we need to wrap up, and we need to have Marla give us some what she sees coming with the spring equinox.
Yes, before we hang. All right, Krista, I guess we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and mute you again, and we're going to have Marla just sort of wrap this up for us. Thanks, Krista.
Yeah,
thanks, Krista. Glad you were able to stay on this weekend.
Come back and see us now. Yeah, here. Yep. Okay. Okay. All right. Marla.
Okay. Well, Debbie, I heard you mention...
You're not snoring. Are you snoring?
I'm still awake.
For anyone who doesn't know, the last episode, someone fell asleep at the end. It was kind of embarrassing for me. So we're not going to hopefully have anyone snoring, but we want to hear some of your what's coming for us, please. Please.
Well, we have a full moon coming on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks pretty full right now.
The 12th of March.
Yeah.
A full moon in Virgo. This is going to be aspecting that Uranus-Jupiter opposition. So it's, time for people to be standing in their truth, and that's going to be true at the equinox as well. We're all being asked to stand in our truth and to see truth. And I heard you mention earlier, Debbie, about people beginning to see the bigger picture. And we have an aspect going on with Pallas conjunct Chiron, and that's what the sun is going to be conjunct at this full moon. And then the sun will travel over them, moving towards Aries. So this is helping people see the bigger picture. Pallas is our third eye. Chiron is Kundalini, so you'll be able to see the bigger pattern. If people can detach from their expectation and outcomes and see the bigger picture right now, then they don't have to worry, like you were just saying to Krista. You can step back. Let your twin do their own thing and go through their own process, and you see the bigger picture that's coming up ahead.
And this is all starting with the full moon?
Yes.
And so we've got the full moon going into spring equinox. And then, and we don't go out of retrograde from Venus until April 15th, right? Isn't that tax day? The last day of
I think you're right.
I don't know about tax
sign anything.
At the equinox, that's when we have the sun moving over the Aries point, which I already talked about. So manifestation. We talked about that earlier, Keleena. Right? Yeah, how strong our manifestation powers are getting.
Yeah,
and how
absolutely.
The 5D unions are stronger. That is what is creating what we're manifesting. That's source energy, the energy that comes from twin flame unions.
You know what? Before we go, I want to say something about the 5D union and the energy of the people coming in. Well, I don't know. Well, okay. So I'm just going to say this because for me, I have two different male counterparts that are coming to me in 5D. And so I'm curious if anybody else is, but I also work with all these other energies that are coming to me anyway. But these two are coming in that loving way. So for me, it's a little bit of confusion sets in when they're both here. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Any ideas, ladies? Oh, Katumi, please don't talk.
Katumi's going to say, I have something to say. May I speak, please?
I know. No, I'm asking the ladies first, Katumi. Oh, God, he wants to talk.
Katumi loves to give Keleena advice, which is so funny because we'll sit there and Katumi will start talking and Keleena will start talking, and I'm serious. I really feel like there's just three of us talking, which there is. It's interesting.
Well, that's because
anyway.
All right.
I know,
go
Katumi.
All right.
Go on. I know.
I know.
Anyway, I know. I know.
Go on. She asked you ladies first. Oh, my gosh.
I'm baffled by that. Baffled by the many energies that come to you. I have one primary energy that comes to me. I don't understand the many energies, but it's very interesting to me. So, Keleena, you're just going to have to talk to Katumi about this one, unless Marla has something to add. Marla?
Marla, go on.
Well, Keleena, you get tested more than most people do.
You know what? Now that you say that, you're right.
What?
To me, it seems like it's a test for you.
Oh, God. Oh, great. Yeah. Choose the right one.
Yeah, well, you know what? I always feel like you have to learn what you teach about, and so that's one of the things that you teach about, loving everything.
I love everyone. All right. Well, she does. Shall I speak now, ladies?
Yes, please, Katumi.
I know you want to end your show, and I know that everybody who's listening wants to go to sleep, but I would like to speak a little bit. It has been one of the shows where Deborah talks the most, and I don't get to say anything.
Hey, Katumi, I was very quiet tonight. I let everybody talk equally. I muted myself. I only spoke when I had wisdom.
He's tapping his fingers on the table.
I'm eating walnuts.
Well, you are now. Thank God you've been eating those walnuts since show 1 because your memory is really coming back.
It is coming back. No more in one nostril, one out the other.
He just shows me the funniest visions when he talks to you.
Oh, I know it. He just loves to have a field day with me. Boy, it's familiar.
Yes, I know. And you know, the next holiday that comes, I'm going to buy you a nutcracker.
One night, Katumi said, "Get the shelled nuts." Because he didn't think I could handle shelling the walnuts. Okay, thank you.
Oh, my God. You have to tell them about when Katumi, he was following your husband in the store trying to tell him where the walnuts were.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, but that was a classic. My husband goes to the store, and he can't find anything. And he's always saying, I can't find what you're looking for. So anyways, Katumi was saying, tell him I'm with him. I'm following him around. I tell him he passes the walnuts. And I tell him, go back. He doesn't listen to me.
I told him, turn around. You've passed the aisle. Turn around. Go back to produce. There's some in produce. You see over there? There's a little nut section. But he does not even look. He doesn't listen to me.
No, he doesn't listen. No, he's on his I can't find anything mission.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
And there are many, and sometimes it's just as bad as the man who does not want to turn around for directions when he has lost. It's the same thing. They get lost in the grocery store. It's their pride. They come home and they say they didn't have any.
They don't have any. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. All right. So we talked about the twin stuff. All right. Yes. Okay. All right. Everybody ready? Let's listen. For those of you that are finishing that bottle or third bottle of wine, maybe you will not comprehend what I'm going to say, but you can listen anyway.
We have a couple people that I can verify are probably sleeping now because they had too much wine. Our wine Friday nights, yes.
I can't drink because otherwise I will not be able to bring energies through. So I don't drink.
I know.
But I love that everybody else can, and I hope they enjoy it. All right. So, Marla, I would like to say kudos to you for what you have brought through tonight, for everybody listening and that will listen, but also for what you have just said to Keleena, the test. It is a test. Well, I would like to know why you just don't tell me it's a test when I ask you, Katumi. Well,
yeah.
Well. And Deborah, do I do that to you? Or do I only do that to Keleena?
No comment.
All right. All right then. All right then. Sometimes we just have to learn. Okay. As a spiritual teacher, Keleena, and I have taught you for many years, you must learn and teach and learn. And this is a big one for you. This is like the milestone. You have dual energies at your side, both in a loving manner. Which one is the twin? Are they both twins? Or are neither of them twins? What do you do? Do you allow them both in your energy field? Or do you push them both away? You know what I do. Yes, I do. I very much do. So, the test for you is to see which one of these divine masculine carry the higher vibration for you. This is where you must go into your knowing. This is where you must go into your feeling. And this is where you will find the truth in the unconditional love that you feel. With each of them, which one is stronger? Which one's vibration is more powerful and at your level? It truly is a test. It is harder in the fifth dimension. But you are receiving it in this way because there will be a few that are coming to you and that will come to listen to this that say, I have the same thing. How do I know which one is truly my twin? So you must learn from this experience so that you may turn around and teach it. So now, you are at a point where you have cleared everything. You have let so many go. You are going through this Retrograde, and you have just let another go. and you have these two energies. And physically in your life, there is nobody at your side. Well, thanks a lot for that.
Well, now join the club, you know? I think that there's a lot of us that will understand that particular.
Well, I haven't had anybody physically at my side, so I have all energetic.
Keleena really does go through a lot of that. So much of it is the fifth dimensional vibrations. She always has the fifth dimensional vibrational beings with her. All kinds of beings, never alone, the people that come to see her out of nowhere, oh, hi, who are you? Oh. And you'll be like, oh, Maitreya, hi, how are you? You know, she has that kind of experience all the time, so she's never alone. But when you're in that kind of situation and you're not in physical contact with physical people, that's just it's a whole other end of the spectrum that some of us don't understand. So,
right, and what I know what they're showing me is that we truly are not alone, because I have everybody here in energetic form, but I've never had my twin in physical form ever, and he has spoken to me since I was 15 telepathically, and I've got the energy of him. So, all right, let me finish then. Is everybody ready to listen? All right.
Yes.
Did you finish that bottle yet, Deborah?
Oh, yeah. What? What did you just say? Did you ask me if I finished my bottle? Is that what you said?
Of course I did.
Katumi, I'm not drinking a bottle. Jeez. Walnuts. Give me a break.
I will offer you a jelly bean later, and we'll discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
So the purpose of this situation for you, of course, is to learn and teach, and to feel the vibration, feel the emotion, but not to go into the mentality of it, to stay in the heart. I explained to you that earlier today, and you know this because you teach this. Stay in the heart. So when you have these energies that come in, that want to be with you, that want to just hold you, that want to love you, you must step into the heart center and truly feel their vibrations with all of your being. And see which one is just like you. Because one of them will not be. The one that vibrates just like you. The one whose heart is in sync with yours. The one whose blood pumps through the veins in the same rhythm is what you're going to feel. That is the one that is your divine counterpart. And that's where the true test comes in. Okay. Thank you, Kay. And I thank you. And I thank you, ladies, for the service that you do. And I thank everyone out there for the service that you do, whether you believe that you are in service or not. Every single one of you, every single soul is.
Yeah.
You all came down here for a purpose. And you are all doing it, whether you know it or not. So I honor all of you with a deep namaste.
Namaste.
And
namaste.
I bid you farewell.
For everyone that's on this path. You guys are really, you have no idea how important you are and how important all of this is. Maybe you do. I hope you do. And I hope you, realize that this is so much more than just you and this other person.
It's about the big picture.
It is.
About the big picture.
It's about uplifting all of humanity. This that you're putting into the template by your shifts and your changes is changing and shifting everything. So, keep that in mind. Try to grab a higher perspective. I remember when I was going through some of my hard times, Keleena was there for me, and she kept, and I think Katumi was there at this point too. Katumi, it was like up, up, up. Stay up, up, up. And that means just keep your vibrations high. Do whatever you have to do. If that's play guitar, that's I'm listening to my K-pop, whatever it is, you just keep your vibrations up. And if someone around you has the lower vibrations, master your own vibrations. That's how you find unconditional love. Yeah. There's no conditions on someone that comes up to you when they cannot affect your vibrations. Master your own vibration.
Right.
It's the key to everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
So thank you, Marla, for coming on tonight. Marla does great charts, natal charts.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah. She did.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
We got to do this again. I absolutely loved having you here.
And I love
great. I would love to come back.
We have. Perfect.
Yay!
Oh, I'm so
all right. I know.
Can I plug my website? Is that where I do that?
What?
Is this where I plug my website?
Oh,
yes, that was designed by Debbie.
Oh, yes. I didn't know what you meant.
Hey, I'll plug your website. I designed her website.
You guys are
that's
funny.
So funny. Gosh, it's so funny that's so true. I did. And I love your website. I really do. I mean, created it with my partner, and we loved it. We loved it because it's you. So anyway.
I love it too.
And next you could make my website. Kapumi's website. Just call it Special K. Special K.
Special K. SpecialK.com.
And I will provide a picture.
Okay. Just make sure you're, in your turban.
No, it's just going to be a handful of gumballs. I would like to thank everybody that listened tonight, and I would like to thank all of you once again. And Keleena wants to say something. I know she does. She was biting her tongue. And I'm going to step back. Namaste all.
Namaste. Thank you, Kay.
In deep gratitude and love. No, all I wanted to say was thank you to all of the Ascended Masters and Goddesses and the angels that have been here tonight, guiding all of us and speaking through the wisdom that everybody is intended to hear.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Love everybody.
Thank you guys so much.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to take us out of Q&A, and we're going to put us in non-mute so everyone can say goodnight. And if anyone's snoring, I'm coming after you.
Oh, we'll never live that one down.
All right.
Oh, my goodness. Good night, everybody.
I'm listening.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Thanks
night.
so much
Love
for
you.
being here.
Good night.
Love you. Good night.
Love you back.
I don't hear any snoring.
Love you back. Yay.
Love you
back. Love
you. Good night. See you next week, I hope. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.